It was reported on March 19, 2012 that 9,000 Nazi war criminals fled to South America after the Second World War. The information was released after German prosecutors were recently granted access to secret files in Brazil and Chile that confirmed the true number of Third Reich immigrants. Secret files have revealed that an estimated 9,000 Nazis, including Holocaust mastermind Adolf Eichmann and Auschwitz Dr. Joseph Mengele, fled to South America in the aftermath of the Second World War. Most, perhaps as many as 5,000, went to Argentina. Between 1,500 and 2,000 are thought to have made it to Brazil, around 500 to 1,000 to Chile, and the rest to Paraguay and Uruguay. These numbers do not include several hundred more that fled to the Middle East. Previous estimates as to how many Nazis fled to South America have varied wildly from 5,000 to 300,000. There are also the other rumors and so-called myths about Nazis who fled further south. One theory is that Martin Bormann, who was allegedly confirmed dead, and other top Nazis, in some cases Hitler himself, escaped to South America and onto a secret base in Antarctica where they had top scientists continue to work on wonder weapons which include flying saucers. The technology, of course, was allegedly given to them through occult means. Some even say that the technology was actually discovered from a spaceship crash in Poland before the war began. In the 1936 there were reports of a large bright light that came down from the sky and landed or crashed somewhere in the Black Forest near Poland. SS troops from the Jelenia Góra garrison came and brought the disk to Jelenia Góra township, where it was examined and back-engineered by scientists who were members of the Thule Society and answered to the Vril, an occult organization that claimed to be receiving messages from space brethren who lived on the moon. The Thulist scientists laid claim to the idea that the technology left behind by aliens or moon men was propelled by something called the Black Sun, a very powerful energy source that cannot be seen by the naked eye. It was allegedly thought by the Vril and the Thulists to be in the Godhead's inner light in the form of a cross. It was also said to be found in antimatter. It was the all-powerful energy source directly from the hand of God to mankind. In Nazi architecture you will see the symbol of the Black Sun right alongside the swastika as a mystical symbol of power. Both symbols represent the round and perfected winged disc or God vehicle. These strange symbols were adopted by the Vril as symbols and talisman of power. Members of the Vril Society are said to have included Adolf Hitler, Alfred Rosenberg, Heinrich Himmler, Hermann Göring, and Hitler's personal physician, Dr. Theodor Morell. The NSDAP, Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterpartei, was created by Thule in 1920, 1 year later. Dr. Friedrich Krohn, who helped to create the Nazi flag, was also a Thulist. With Hitler in power in 1933, both Thule and Vril Gesellschafts allegedly received official state backing for continued disk development programs aimed at both the war machine and regular space flights to the moon. Hitler's forces flew the first military jet, the German Heinkel 178, in 1939. In 1943 the Germans also deployed the only jet fighter to go into regular service during the war, the Messerschmitt 262. This Me-262 could easily overtake the fastest Allied aircraft, and only Hitler's misguided orders that the planes be outfitted as bombers instead of defensive fighters saved Allied aircraft from devastating casualties. Cruise missiles, a staple of current advanced arsenals, were also first used by the Third Reich during the war. V-1 flying bombs were launched from German-held territories across the Channel into England. The buzz bombs, as they were sometimes called because of the sound of their impulse jet engines, could outrun most Allied aircraft, making the V-1S almost impossible to stop. The V-1S weakness was its guidance system, a problem solved in modern cruise missiles by the use of computer-controlled radar. Because it couldn't hit a pinpoint target, the V-1 could only be used to cause random terror and not zero in on truly important military assets. The German V-2 rocket was the predecessor of the intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that filled the nuclear arsenals of the Soviet Union and the United States during the Cold War. It traveled up to 225 miles at 5 times the speed of sound, and a single hit could demolish a city block. During the war, the V-2 killed 2,724 civilians and injured another 6,467. Like the V-1, though, it lacked a guidance system that would have allowed it to effectively strike at important targets. Hitler's engineers even developed a rocket-powered fighter, the Me-163. Though it only saw limited service and was never very successful as a fighter, it was the first aircraft to fly faster than 600 miles an hour. Many of the reports of Nazi flying saucers can be traced back to a book entitled German Secret Weapons of World War II, written by Rudolf Loeser in the late 1950s. Loeser had been a major in a German army technical unit during the war. His book covered many of the acknowledged advances like the V-1 and V-2, but also included a chapter on wonder weapons. According to Loeser, a German aircraft designer named Rudolf Schriever, along with other engineers Habermohl, Mirth and Galanzo, who was Italian, were working on several disc-shaped aircraft toward the end of the war. At a facility near Breslau, Poland, a group headed by Mayath constructed a prototype of a circular air vehicle 137 feet in diameter with an elongated hump on top for the cockpit. The aircraft was to be powered with adjustable jet engines. In Loeser's account, the device was destroyed when the plant where it was being constructed was blown up by retreating German troops before it could be overrun by the Soviets in 1945. There are others who say that the technologies were moved and integrated into other technologies used by the United States and Russia. Furthermore, there were other accounts that say that the saucers still exist and that they are in Antarctica at a secret base called 211. It was proposed that the Antarctic research vessel the Flying Schwabenland transported equipment and other machinery, including railroad equipment, rail cars and huge cutters for drilling tunnels. 35 of the largest submarines were used to transport supplies. It is alleged that the base had facilities and cargo docks that could hold at least 8 submarines at a time. By the end of the war, the Germans had 9 research facilities at the base. Each facility was a science and research facility used to continue work on weapons and flying discs. Nazi scientists allegedly conducted studies on the creation of Superman, which would be used to dominate the world. They would also improve the weapons, which would conquer the Earth. It is believed that the saucer technology still exists today and that German scientists brought over the technology to the United States for use in space travel and war.